All right, outdoorsmen, we are in Golden Gate Park, and behind me definitely have my favorite daughter with me, and behind me is the John F. Kennedy Buffalo Paddock, where they actually have some American bison here in the park. So we're going to check them out, and then we're going to go check out some pretty cool windmills here in the park. And if we have time, maybe even get to the botanical gardens, but that's not necessarily a promise today. So let's get outdoors. All right, everyone. There you can see the bison here. Still very much are wearing their winter coats. We're going to take a little walk to see a little more of the entire paddock. Interesting. I don't know if you can see it, but the one buffalo there has a horn that is growing down, whereas the vast majority of the others are growing up. So there is a little bluebird sitting on its box. Cool that they have the ability to have opportunities for other organisms than just the bison themselves. Here is a pretty big Japanese black pine. You can see it actually has some lichen on it, and I just want to show it from perspective. There's another big old evergreen tree. We'll get down and see if we can't figure out what kind that is. It's definitely not a pine, even though it is an evergreen now. Although my daughter is quite stately, just a little bit of a comparison to just how big this Monterey cypress is. It is massive. Probably diameter is over 6 feet. So really cool to see a tree this old. Here you can see some poppies that just grow wild all over the place here in Central California. And even within the enclosure there, you can see them, to add a little splash of color to a rather monotonous green and fading brown landscape. As we were walking along here, we saw this tree, and interesting how it's very gnarly and no general sense of direction to it. It kind of comes out of the ground and then looks like it maybe goes back into the ground. Very, very interesting. It's a New Zealand tea tree, so it's really interesting to see as we're making our way toward the windmills. All right, we are just taking a quick little break here, and there's some lavender and some I think it's button bush. If I'm wrong, I'll go ahead and put it in the caption. And then this beautiful yellow shrub is a flannel bush. So I'll check the other two and I'll get back if I'm off base. Here's an interesting variety of rose. I mean, just very flat petals. They're called rugosa roses. Pretty delicate pink, and very hardy as far as their vine. Here's an interesting shrub. Although they hang down, probably because they're so heavy, they're known as the angel's trumpet. Very interesting. With their green up next to the stem and then a pretty shaded yellow for the uniform. As we come around the corner here, we get to see the Queen Wilhelmine Garden with a really cool old windmill. So I'm going to walk up and check that out and look at the garden space. Looks like the lilies have passed. I'm sure that it's super hard here with the wind, but we are looking out. That is the Pacific Ocean. So we'll walk over that way and check it out and head back toward the car. Over here you can see a typical East Coast beach, but as I pan up, you'll be able to see what makes the California coast so well known and beautiful. And here is the other windmill in the Golden Gate State Park, or Golden Gate Park. This one looks like it's in much better shape. Not near as many tiles coming loose. We're gonna walk down and take a look at it with a little closer perspective. Moon's already out. All right, everyone, wrapping up the trip to Golden Gate Park, Buffalo Paddock, and checking out all of the flowers that were around there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was cool to see the buffalo, and I appreciated that they didn't have, actually the bison, and I appreciated the fact that they didn't have so many in there that it was nothing but a dry dirt mess. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Until next time, get outdoors.